Welcome to Things I Can't Say, the podcast for the things parents whisper, not post. I'm Annie, a parent who's walked through the quiet, lonely hallways of raising a child with traits that don't fit neatly into any of the parenting books, or on anyone's social media feed either. Each week we'll open the door to stories that rarely get told out loud. I'll start with mine, and then you'll hear from other parents, mental health professionals, and people who know what it means to live in the gray instead of the black and white. This is a place where shame loses its power, where complexity isn't feared but explored, and where love doesn't have to be easy in order to be real. If you've ever felt like no one else could possibly understand, you're not alone here. This is Things I Can't Say, and I am so glad you're here. Before I update you on how the transitional age group home went for our son, I want to give you kind of now what we know. So our son is approaching 18. It is March. He turns 18 in July. And now we have a better framework of a lot of things. While he is in the secure inpatient program, he had a psychosexual evaluation done. We've gotten the answers to more questions. We have a better picture of things than we've had before. We feel like we have finally gotten some transparency. One of our biggest struggles from the beginning has been that getting honest answers to anything, even is the sky blue, is next to impossible. So we are closer to getting some honest answers. What we know now. At this point, our son has admitted to harming our daughter. He has admitted to harming. I'm not going to go into detail of what harming means because it's not my story, but he has harmed a previous girlfriend of his. He has, within his psychosexual evaluation, discussed things that he did to other children starting around the age of 4 or 5. This was a very continuous pattern of inappropriate behavior with other kids. It seemed to start in foster care. There was no place where he talked about anything happening to him. Whether it did or did not, I have no idea. But there was no point where he talked about an experience in which he was sexually abused. He talked very in depth about things that he did to other people, although it was often in what I perceived to be as a joking kind of way. Exposing himself to other people, the things that he was watching, stuff that he said, that kind of thing. Uh, it was very definitely a pattern of behavior that started very young. What we know is that what he was doing to our daughter happened for about 5 years and stopped at the time that girlfriends started. Based on what we have heard over the years from multiple girlfriends, treatment of them has not been great. We have found over time text messages to them that are incredibly inappropriate. I would say they verge on abusive. It escalated to a place where he was meeting a girl one day and then sending her a text the next day saying things like, just so you know, I don't wear protection, I don't pull out, and if you get pregnant, I'm not leaving. This is happening at the age of 16. Sending an ex-girlfriend messages demanding that she bring substances, threatening physical harm, calling her awful, awful names if she doesn't do what he wants. Very inappropriate behavior. There are pictures of our dog's private parts. Like the amount of stuff that is present, we have like an avalanche of stuff. And while we've had 8.5 months of this secure inpatient placement in which We've gotten medication figured out, and there's been a ton of therapy, and we're at a more stable place where he is not having the constant non epileptic seizures. We're not having any real episodes. Things seem to be more stable, but not perfect. There are still things happening, but we seem to be far more stable. We have so much that has happened over the last many years that my brain says we have a major problem. And while all of this has happened in bits and pieces, there has not been a place where anyone has put all the pieces together and said, this is a major concern. The psychosexual evaluation that was done was very aimed at he's inpatient. The what is needed for his treatment right now is aimed at inpatient and will need to be reassessed when he's out, which was never reassessed. Um, I did not feel like anyone had a handle on what we were really dealing with overall. So he got out. And I will say that while he was in, our marriage improved tenfold. We reached a place where we have never been better. The peace that we felt, the calm that we felt, the ability to breathe that we had was so healing for us during that time frame. Um, he went into a transitional age group home, which I was not prepared for. In my mind, he is still 17. He is still a minor and will be treated like a minor. I did not understand that this was a very mentally ill child who would be treated like an adult. Someone who does not have the skills to live on their own or make decisions for themselves would be treated like they could. He was really in charge of a lot of things. While we could say who could visit him and we could say, like, we could set some of the rules from afar, there was nothing that held that. There were no consequences. There was nothing. Um, he lasted a very short amount of time before there was again a girlfriend, because this is what we do. Um, and this was a girlfriend who also had a lot of significant life trauma and struggles. While the house rules were that he couldn't be in his room with the door closed and he couldn't have anyone spend the night, he somehow managed to find ways around that. So the door is barely cracked. They weren't spending the night because they were awake all night. So a girlfriend is there all the time. Then there's substances that are clearly starting to happen again. Um, Drug tests that are supposed to be happening that are not happening, reasons to not go to therapy, not as engaged as he should be, not wanting to go to school. We're very quickly heading downhill. So this is end of February into April. I'm starting to see, like, he wants his independence, and I understand that at almost 18. And also, we have significant struggles in which independence has not been something that should be happening right now. Um, in May, so I've been talking back and forth to girlfriend's mom quite a bit because I had some concerns around what was happening between the two of them. I have concerns with my son. Um, and I made her as aware of that as I could. In May, she contacted me, girlfriend's mom, and let me know she was sure that they were using substances together. To which I confronted our son because one of our conversations while he was inpatient was If you choose to use again, I will not stay present. Um, I've already done this. It is not good for me, and I will not walk beside you. Also, we will not pay for any form of phone if you are using. That was our only real support that we were offering at that point, was covering his phone service, and the house didn't have Wi-Fi, so we said we would not pay for it anymore. On the day that we found out and I confronted him and shut off his phone, he ran away. I believe that was the end of April, um, and he has been gone since then. Has he been doing well? No. Um, there have been multiple accusations from other people that I am aware of prior to the age of 18. So between February and July of inappropriate behavior with people. Now that he's 18, I am not aware of what is happening. While he still has a care team that I am aware of, he's requested that I not be part of it. So I don't know exactly what he's doing or is involved with. As far as I am aware, he is not on any medication. He stopped that when he left. Uh, he really believes that he's got it all figured out and has it all together. There are guidelines that he can't be with anyone under 18 until he does some very specific work that I don't believe he has done. As far as I know, as of 2 to 3 weeks ago, that guideline was still in place. Um, I don't have a lot of contact with him unless he needs something from me. Our daughter made the decision in July to get a sexual abuse protection order against him, which really ended a lot of contact all around. The last text I have from him was on his birthday, in which he told me, "Thank you for everything you've done for me. I'll never forget it," type of thing. Um, it it's it's hard. I really struggle with where things stand right now because I feel like I know that my son needs help. I know that his ability to independently do this is probably not there. And I don't have any say in that. He is an adult. Um, and the only people who get to make those decisions now is law enforcement or CPS or other agencies who see things bad enough to make those decisions. And in order for things to be bad enough, somebody has to get hurt because we have a reactive, it's all reactive. Nothing is proactive. I've spent years trying to be proactive and find ways to get help for him, find ways to figure this out before it was too late. And now I'm sitting with the consequences of too late. I spend a lot of time gaslighting myself, thinking maybe he's fine now. Maybe just being away from me makes everything fine. And I know that's not true because he was in group homes where he was away from me, and that wasn't fine. So I know being away is not what fixes it. I know. And also, it is not pleasant to know the things that you know about your child and feel like your hands are tied, that there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing. I feel like I lived this escalation for so many years, from the age of 6 until 18, of so many things happening and watching this grow and grow and grow, like this volcano growing. And then we hit 18 and it's just, you're cut off from all information now. And the volcano could explode any day and You might know if you see it in the news, but outside of that, you, the person with all the information, has to just sit and wait. I don't like it. And I talk about it because I know I'm not the only one. I know how many other families are in this club, and it stinks. It's an awful club to belong to. And to be clear, I love our son a lot. And I think that he is deserving of a life that is healthy and peaceful, where he is loved and cared for, and he loves and cares for, where he is respected and he respects others. He deserves a lot. Uh, and that's going to take support to get. And I'm worried for him. All the deep breaths. Next episode, we'll talk a little more about the personal impacts and the marriage impacts and the family impacts, because this isn't a one-person thing. When you have a child who struggles this hard, it is not just the child who is impacted. It impacts everybody in the family because it's a family issue. It impacts all of us. Take care of yourself. Thanks for being here, listening, feeling, and sitting with the hard stuff. If you've ever whispered a story like mine, I'd love to hear from you. You can leave me a message at mombehindthescenes.com, because every story told gives someone else permission to share theirs. This is Things I Can't Say, the podcast for things you whisper, not post. Until next time, take care of yourself.